Hello, hello, good people. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing this Saturday? Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Come on, these new phones, I swear. Okay, finally, it's off. It's off. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in, everyone. It is 6 p.m. or 6:01 now. Just tripped over. At least my machine just tripped over. I am where I'm supposed to be. You will be where you are supposed to be once you arrive here. Once you arrive here, arrive here. Hello, Regina, the AI show. How are you? Bud Files. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome in, Bud Files. Welcome in. How was your day, everyone? How was your day? How was your day? Corn Watch. Hashtag Corn Watch. It's a Corn Watch weekend, folks. A Corn Watch weekend. This live is sponsored by Always Tam Tam. Always Tam Tam. Her link is in the chat. Her link is in the chat. Go and check her out. Go and check her out. Yes, welcome in, everyone. Welcome in, everyone. So, how has everyone's Saturday been? Just a little chit chat before the warm up. How has your Saturday been? How has the pocket watching been? Not in the way that we normally do it, but the pocket watching of your own coins. How is that going? How is that going? Because it is not, the weekend is not over. The weekend is not over. So we are going to remain vigilant in this pocket watching. Of course, pocket watching our own coins, staying on budget, staying on budget. That is what we are going to do, folks, throughout the remainder of the weekend. The remainder of the weekend. I get it. I get it. It is the holiday season. Time for us to be out here spending and buying and all of that good stuff. Yes, yes, and yes. I get it. I understand it. But we definitely want to make sure that we are shopping around online or in the advertisement that comes to you, etc. And we also want to make sure that we are looking out for the good deals. We are looking out for the good deals. And a good deal to each person is just that, is different for each person. I should say is different for each person. But we definitely want to make sure that we are, pocket watching, pocket watching our own money. No one else's in the traditional sense, just pocket watching our own money, because we know we need that money to survive. And you may be buying expensive gifts for whomever, and then a month or two from now, you're finding yourself a little strapped for cash, or you can't make the full payment on the credit card that you charged that expensive gift that you gave to someone. You find yourself in that type of rigmarole, and you don't want to go into 2024, with that on your head, etc. Oh, I did this in 2023, just 30 days ago, a month ago, 6 weeks ago, whatever, and you're into 2024, and now you're having that on your head for something that you did, a financial something that you did back in 2023. Yes. So pocket watch and pocket watch well, pocket watch well. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in, everyone. So I'm going to get started. I am going to get started. I have questions. I have lots of questions, and I am sure that you all have questions also with regards to a whole host of things regarding your finances. This is not a whole inclusive list. This is not a whole inclusive list or questions that you may have, because everyone's life is different. You may be going through different situations, etc., and you're going to have questions that pertain solely to that particular issue, circumstance, or situation that is happening with you. But it's always a good thing to have questions, ask questions, go find the information. Of course, asking someone, question, hopefully they're able to give you an answer, a good answer, the right answer, etc. Or maybe tidbits in their answer that you can use, or maybe the whole thing you can use, etc. We are hoping, and we are always hoping for that. So one of the things that I wrote down with regards to questions are, what are you going to give up in 2024 to help you pay your rent, mortgage, either get it up to date or pay a little bit in advance, to help you save or to pay off your debt, rent, mortgage, food, clothing. What are you going to give up to help you to get some of your money back? the money that you have from working your 40-hour week job before you take on other jobs, etc. What are you going to do with the money that you're making currently so that you can get some of that money back so you can put towards your debt if you have it, catching up on your rent or mortgage if that is your situation, saving money, to buy more food, less food, etc. What are you going to, well, less food, I guess. What are you going to do to help you facilitate that? What are you going to give up in 2024? Another question that I had, which of course is the exact opposite, what are you not going to give up in 2024? Something that you're doing now, and you're not going to stop doing that for any reason at all, period. What are those things? Everyone has to answer those questions for themselves. So the things that could possibly be something that you are going to give up that is going to help you with your overall financial picture, maybe lunches, dinners with friends, etc., co-workers, whomever. The subscriptions, that could be something that you're going to do. Maybe you're going to, what did I write on here? If you're eating out a lot or calling up the DoorDash or the Uber Eats or whatever it is, you're going to stop doing that a whole lot. Just what are some things that you're going to give up, stop doing so that you can gain money back? What are some, and the other, of course, what are you going to do? What aren't you going to give up? What aren't you going to give up? Some of the things that I wrote down for myself was not the self-care, and some of this stuff is tied to, um, your medical insurance, whether it's private pay or, or you have it at your job, etc. And like I said, most jobs it covers the basic stuff, but it depends on what you get. They may have several different plans. Of course, I know for single and family, and then they may have some that's a little bit more comprehensive, and you may get more items. What I'm not going to give up is doing the self care, like the mammograms and the eye and the dental, the mani pedis, the massage, those type of things. That some things are just non-negotiable with folks, and those are some of mine. Those are some of mine, and the XM radio because that is needed for the long distance travel or even the short distance. But yeah, I like to listen to a whole host of different things when I am riding along in my car. So, what are some things that you aren't going to give up? They are non-negotiables at all. Period. At all. Period. Another something that when we start to really talk about our personal finance, our personal, and that stuff is good also and too. It might be a starting point for you for some of the other questions that I wrote down that you may have. I'm not going to be long here, folks. I'm not going to be long here. Yeah, do not give up that self-care. Do not give up that self-care because you need to be a whole, complete person, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And the things that you are doing for your own self-care may be helping you in those areas here and there, bit by bit. And the more that you do them, the more that you are relaxed, you know, less stressful. They are good for you. So they are going to, of course, pass on and be good for your kids and your spouse. Like, oh, she's really relaxed after these massages, or let me get her some some gift cards for that because she's like a whole different person after she does the mani pedi, the massage, etc. So, you know, if something is good for you, then your family hopefully should see the benefits and reap some of the benefits. But basically, deep down inside, with regards to the personal finance, because some folks have started to say, okay, I'm in 2023, maybe 3 or 4 months back. And I mentioned this probably 3 or 4 months back, where people are starting to think about what into 2024. And some people may have started to actually write down some of the things that they would like to do. They may have done some research on some of the things that they may have written down, and that is a good thing because it can start to get into your brain and the mindset will start to form, take shape, and then you can move on and start executing on those things. If you can't do it now, you know in 2024 that you can, then you're further down the road than someone that is just starting on 1 January with a clean slate but has zero, no type of guidance or anything at all, period. Some of the questions that you may have is, how do I stop living paycheck to paycheck? Of course, we have YouTube here, the internet at large here, where we can go and get some information with regards to helping us answer this question. However, in my opinion, the answer or answers are going to come from you first and foremost. You're asking, how are you going to stop living paycheck to paycheck? You're the one that's earning the paycheck. You know where your money is going. You know where your money is going. If it's to start budgeting, then get information on that, start doing that, etc. These are just some questions, not so much answers, but yeah, you will find the answers. The answers are out. The answers are within you. You probably for that particular question and others that I may have here and others that you are going to ask of yourself anyway. You already know the answer because you are the person that's working. You know where your money is going. And if you don't know where your money is going, fully, etc., then you know that a budget is one of the ways that can help you, grab a hold and get a grasp of all of that. Another question that you may have is, how do you increase your income without leaving home? You don't want to go outside of your home, getting a side hustle or a part-time job or another full-time job, etc. You're going to research and try and find ways that you can make some extra money by staying inside of your house. That may be a question that you have because you can't go. You're doing the 8 hours to 40 hours a week already, and you have small children, etc. Maybe you and your spouse are switching off, but you're working, his working, you still need some extra income, and you have the kid or kids to take care of. Okay, now what can I do inside the house so that I can make some extra money? And if it's selling some things that you have that you aren't used and haven't used in a while, have been gently used, etc., that may be an option for you. Or maybe do surveys online, finding some type of admin job online, or whatever it is, you are going to find a way. If getting your personal finance is one of the things that is going to be top of mind, focus, one of your goals for 2024 and beyond. Uh, Another question you may have is, can I afford to have a child or another child? That may be something that people are thinking about. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in, everyone. That may be something that folks are thinking about. And then maybe some people are past that, so it's not a thing, etc. And of course, something you definitely need to talk to your spouse about. College. If you don't have a college degree, hey, should I go back to college? If I do have a degree already, I want to get the next one or two, etc. Can I afford that? Is that something that is going to be helpful and beneficial to me in the career field that I am in already? Some of the questions that you may want to ask yourself that are that involves your personal finance. And I get it. If some people want to go back and they're going to take out loans for it, then that's part of your personal finance. You are eventually going to have to pay for those loans. What if you need a new car, or you're deciding to get a new car, that a used car that is going to be new to you? Maybe your car is failing and it has been for a while, but you've been able to do the repairs to it for 6 months, a year, or beyond. And now you're like, okay, this is getting to be a little bit too much. It's breaking down a little bit too frequently. And each time that it breaks down, the cost is going up, up, up. And and you've been knowing that you needed another car. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Questions that you may have already in your mind or may need to think about. Okay, you're renting now. You want to start renting because you want home ownership. Home ownership is one of your goals. What do I do? How much do I need to save? All of that stuff, because you're definitely going to have some money for that. But of course, there are programs out there, lots of first-time homeowner programs out there. And of course, you're going to have to do the research for that. Okay, you have a child and you have a job already, but you would like to stay home with the kid. So now, should I keep this job and have the child stay in daycare if the child is that age? Or do I want to stay at home? Of course, if I stay at home, then we're down to one income. If it's, you're and your spouse, or you're and your significant other, and you all decided that you're going to stay home, then okay, the bills that you had and were participating in prior when you had the job, what happens with that? All those type of things need to be discussed. Those are questions that some folks may have. So how, if you are living on your own and you're just not making it, etc., how do you ask your parents if you can move back in with them? You are an adult child, of course, 18 here in the US, but maybe you're 24, 25. How do you ask your parents, hey, can I move back in with you all because the rent is too high, the cost of living just is a little bit too much. I am not making enough money to handle this, etc. How do you ask that question? And what if your what if your parents say, okay, you can move back in, but these are the conditions, and they give you conditions like, okay, we're going to do a budget, you're going to pay rent, these are the task chores that you are going to do each and every day, no company, etc. Will you be able to handle that if those are the conditions and others that they place on you? No company, no company, no company. What are you going to do if that is the case? You are a grown person and your parents are telling you, yeah, you can come back here, but you're going to pay rent, we're going to do a budget, and I'm going to make sure, and you're going to have to be saving a certain percentage of your income so that you can eventually buy a home or go back out here and rent again, et cetera, et cetera. How do you handle that? And another big one is how do I get control of my finances, which kind of sort of goes into how do I stop living paycheck to paycheck? Um, at the end of the week or at the end of the month, there is no more money left. There's more month than money, etc. How do I get control of my finances? Those are some of the questions that I know that I have asked myself, and you may be asking yourself the same also. Into we live in a capitalistic society. It takes money for food, clothing, and shelter. There is just no way around it, folks. No way around it. What else? What money method works the best? There are several folks out here, and some people will say 50, 30, 20. Some people may go with the Dave Ramsey thing. Some people may say, don't budget, just, pay all your stuff, and whatever is left, then you put that towards whatever it is that you need to put it towards. It's just discretionary. You can do it for whatever. And that's fine also, and too, because everyone does things differently. If you're not doing a written budget or something, if you just have certain debts that you just have all the time, and you're putting, for the folks that it may apply to, you're putting money in a retirement type savings, etc. You got your emergency fund going. If you got all the basic things that pertain to you at a particular moment in time, then that is great. That works for a lot of folks. Uh, are you doing your research on all the different things that you need to do research on? Do your own due diligence. Just don't believe and follow something that someone else is saying, on these YouTube streets, whomever it is, whether you believe them to be very knowledgeable, et cetera, with regards to finance, et cetera. You have to do your own due diligence because everyone's situation is different. And like I always say, at a particular moment in time, a snapshot in time, this is a situation that you, or the next person may be having 6 months from now, and may be totally different. You conquered that particular issue that you're having, and now you move on to doing bigger and better things, bigger and better things. Yes, budgeting is key. Budgeting is key. What else did I have on here? Okay, so you have a child now. You just had a child 1 month ago, 2 months ago, and now, of course, your life is totally different. Trust and believe that a child will totally change your life. And you're finding out that, hey, this child is costly. Because I think a lot of people, really may not just plan to have children. Some people do, et cetera. And then they say, if you plan to have a kid, then, if you wait until you're financially ready to have a kid, then it won't ever happen. And maybe that is just for, poor folks. I don't know. But here we are. Here we are. You're finding out that it's costly and it's eating into a lot of the extra money that you had prior when there wasn't a kid around, because the diapers and the wipes are expensive, and formula, if you're going that way, et cetera, is very expensive. Childcare, if both people are working now, a whole host of things, a whole host of things. A child is costly. What else? What am I going to do if I lose my job for whatever reason? Something I did, or the job just went away overseas, automation, and now they don't need humans or as many humans as they did before. We see this all the time. What's going to happen? Am I prepared? Do I have an emergency fund? Do I have an emergency fund that is going to take me, from the time I get fired to 6 or more months so that, okay, I can do all of my debts, I can pay all of my bills for 6 to 9 months or more while I am looking for a job to replace the one that I lost for whatever reason. We have to make sure that we have that emergency fund. These are some questions that we need to ask ourselves. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Marlene, like with Marlene, Shangy girl, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Our international friends, thank you for being here. Just a lot of stuff. Now, we have seen that there are, or have been, a lot of strikes this year in a whole host of areas. I think the United Auto Workers, theirs is done, I do believe. I thought I saw something with regards to that. What happens if you strike? I think there were some, who was it? Kaiser Permanente. I do believe I did a little something on that where they were striking. The UPS folks, they were striking. A whole host of folks were striking this year. So what happens if, your company or whatever goes on strike? Is there something in place, like if your union, like from what the report said with regards to the United Auto Workers, that union, was that they had a kitty or some money for such an event as a strike, to where they will pay out, so much money per week. And of course, for their medical also, and too, while they were on strike. And I guess when that went away, then that would have went away. Does your company have that type of situation going on? Or is the union that you are in, do they have that type of thing going on? If they don't, then you are on your own, because I don't think no one is going to pay you while you aren't working. So what happens if, your job, they decide they want to go on strike and there is no union? Where is your safety net? Just some of the questions I wrote down, and there, like I mentioned, is a whole host of questions that each of us can ask ourselves individually, because everyone's situation is different. But yeah, getting ahead of something more sooner than later is going to be helpful. We are all grown here. But the first two questions are well, all of them are interesting, and there's more that you all know, etc. What are you going to give up in 2024 so that you can better get a grip of your financial picture, your financial situation, to help you, just to help you with your overall financial picture? What are you going to give up? And what are some of the things you aren't going to give up? I don't care what's going on. I'm not giving up blank, blank, blank. Yeah, a lot of questions and a lot of folks. And this just hasn't happened since. Hey, Marlene, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you? How are you, Marlene? How are you, Marlene? How are you? Thank you, Shangy girl. Thank you, Shangy girl, for sharing me to your community wall. Thank you so much for sharing me to your community wall. Go and check out Shangy girl. Check out her dogs, her sightseeing adventures in her country, in her city, all of that good stuff. Go check out Shangy girl. The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. And she goes live, and she has turtles. She has turtles. She goes live with her turtles. And she does karaoke. And she does karaoke over there also. And to check out Shangy girl. Check out Shangy girl. Oh, Marlene, what are you laughing about? I'm doing great, Joshua. I am doing great. I am doing great. I am doing great. Are you working, Marlene? Or maybe it switched up. But anyway, yes, because I know you said that you were off during the weekend. You worked on the weekend. So hopefully all is going well with you down there in Florida. But yeah, questions. I have questions, and I'm sure that a lot of folks have questions. And going into 2024, you know, clean slate, clean slate. And some people, may decide that they're going to do everything starting January the 1st. They're going to lay out their plans and write a whole bunch of stuff down, like during the whole week, etc., all that good stuff, and then go and take action after that. And maybe for a lot of folks at work, I know for me, I need to start doing something a little bit prior to that, because there is so many things going on in a person's brain all at one time. Trust and believe, if you have a lot going on, or maybe a husband, you just stop on your dinner break. Okay, good. A lot of people have a lot of things going on. And for me, like I was mentioning before, maybe back in September, sometimes it's a good thing to like get your thoughts written down, or like in this case, since New Year's is coming, and you want to have resolutions or goals, to write them down and then start to put the action steps on there, and then start to chip away at the things before the first get here, so that part of the mindset, like I mentioned, during this live, can set and form, take shape. And then so you're not all at one time writing everything down and the action steps, and then, oh God, wow. And now you, of course, your life still has to go on like it was happening back in September, October, but you had some time to slowly, do one something on the list, etc. That was just my thoughts, my logic on it. At least that works a little bit for me. And it depends on how many things you are trying to accomplish. Sometimes people will overload themselves and it becomes a train wreck. I have been there. I have done that. It becomes a train wreck. It becomes a train wreck. Train wreck. And one of the things, welcome in everyone. Welcome in everyone. One of the things that I have been doing the last 2 days is on YouTube, looking at some of the, I know it's young folks, middle age, the whole gamut of young folks talking about the cost of living, that they can't do the rent or mortgage, or they can't buy anything. They can't live the life that their parents lived, or they're not as financially together as their parents are, and a whole host of things. Their government is against them. They're doing things for all other groups of people, and not for their own citizenry, in their country, a whole host of stuff. And the young folks are really talking about that. One of the things that I mentioned, living paycheck to paycheck, they can't make it. They are not making a decent wage, a livable wage, a whole host of things. I've been looking at those things to see what some of the young folks on here on the YouTube are saying. Of course, I don't know their particular situation. They are, expressing themselves, etc. And it's good to hear. It's good to hear. And for even like for my grandchildren, the two adult grandchildren that are 18 and soon to be 21, it's different for them. And I can see them saying some of the things that these young folks on YouTube are saying. And I just find it interesting. But I can see them saying some of the things that I see these young folks are saying. But yeah, get on over here with grandma and I'll get you. I'll gather you up. You're not going to like it, but I'll gather you up and you won't have any issues, and do it while you're young. Yeah. Of course, when I was coming along, people didn't talk about money or anything like that. I learned a lot about money when I got my first job, working at a furniture store, doing credit, accounts receivable, all that good stuff. And so I learned about credit there, etc. And yeah, when you're not talking about it, and the other part, when you're not doing as best you can to live it so that you can model it for your kids. And I get it. Some things, snapshot in time, you're going along just fine. Your job goes away, you're in a pickle for a minute or two, then you get back, etc. All of this good stuff. But yeah, you can tell them, but if you are modeling it, and talking to them all at the same time when things go crazy or haywire for a period of time, etc., that's going to be helpful. And just explain stuff is going on and we're going to have to cut back, and this is what happens. But yeah, if you're not modeling it, etc., if you're out here doing a whole host of other things like way overspending, they're going to see that also in too. So trust and believe they're going to see it, and at some point they'll throw it back in your face. Children. Not all kids, but here we are. So those are some of the questions that I wrote down. And like I said, there are many, many more. And as we turn the page to 2024, here shortly, the goals, the resolutions that people are going to set, all the things that they're going to buy to help them accomplish that type of thing. Planners, I know I'm going to be buying a planner. Vision boards, doing vision boards, electronically or otherwise, the things that are going to help us do that. And all of that is good and well, good and well. And of course, the one of the main things is whatever we're writing down for our big resolution goals, etc., and we're doing the action steps, and just look at them daily if need be. Look at them daily and see, hey, let me try to tackle something, this first action step, etc., part of it, all of that good stuff, because you want to be successful. You want to be successful. And I get it. And I've been there, made goals, you can call them resolutions, etc., and just fell off the track. Things were a train wreck, etc., because sometimes you get hung up in, oh, I got a pretty planner, I got a pretty binder, I got a pretty whatever. And you're writing down the stuff, and you're just writing down the stuff, and you're not going back looking at it, etc. And it happens. But you want to change and do better. Grabbing and getting a hold of our financial situation is going to be key along the way. And I know that a lot of folks want to get out of debt, find a new job, go back to college so I can get a better paying job, etc. Or the job that I'm at now, I can maybe put in for a promotion or the next step up, and it requires me to have a bachelor's or a master's or something other like that. So yeah, whole host of things, folks, whole host of things. And also into lesson of, if you have adult children, I know some of the folks here may or may not, if you have adult children, kind of sort of just do a check with them to see how they are doing, also into their financial picture. There's certain, I'm sure there are ways that, you talk to your kids and you can find out things without asking them directly, hey, hey, what is your financial picture? What is it looking like? Are you still able to pay your mortgage if they have one? Are you still able to pay your rent? Or maybe you're open with your children like that, and that is a good thing, because we want to keep, a little, for lack of a better word, tabs on them, but not every week or every month you're asking them the question or what have you. And hopefully you have a relationship where they can come and talk to you if they're having some type of financial situation where maybe you can intervene and help. I'm not saying give them money, but intervene and help them in some particular way, etc., before it may gets way out of control, and then they come back, ask to come back and stay with you, and you as a parent will probably say yes, and may or may not have conditions, and then it becomes a train wreck for you while they are in your home, because if they don't have any rules or having to pay, etc., then they may just full on take advantage of the situation, and you don't want that, because you may find them they're still there at 50, and you want something different, and you want them to have a life, and you want to have a life too in your retirement, post-retirement, whatever it is for you. But yeah, questions that need to be answered, mindset shifts that need to happen for myself, and maybe for some of the folks out here. But yeah, it's a good thing. It's always a good thing. Yeah. Thank you all for coming in. Thank you all for coming in. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. This live was sponsored by Always Tam Tam, Always Tam Tam. Check her out, folks. Check her out. Her link is in the chat. Her link is in the chat. Take care. Bye bye.